I think the answer on how we make change happen is education. Of course, it brings up another question. What does that even mean? Whether it's crime or the secret ingredient to Chicken Unlimited's barbecue chicken, education seems to be the answer for everything. It's one of those magic words like love that people say is very important, but it's incredibly difficult to define. When people say the key to change is education, do they mean high school education? Do they mean proverbs and parables? Do they mean experience from certain situations? I personally think that when people say education, a lot of times what they mean is gaining the knowledge or expertise on how to deal with a situation, how to deal with crime, how to deal with poverty, how to hide the guava from your family, the important stuff. But I think the critical part of education that is often overlooked is the why. I mean, yes, you could teach a person calculus, but if you don't teach them why it's important, then what's the point? Which is probably why I don't remember what calculus is. This is the perfect time to bring up the most popular question that I get. Who is Alan? Well, that and how do you pronounce your name? This is a long story. To explain who Alan MOLECH is and what is his fan club, we have to go back, so bear with me. MOLECH is the name of the Canaanite god of fire, sometimes represented in modern art as an owl. Tradition holds that the worshippers of this god would do crazy things like sacrifice children to him to assure victory in battle or gain riches. MOLECH has and continues to represent a culture where those with power sacrifice those that depend on them to gain momentary success. Now that could be a king killing his son hoping to appease a giant owl in the sky so that he wins a battle against his enemies, to an economic system that takes advantage of the lower class as depicted in Fritz Lang's Metropolis. And then Alan was the most bland name I could think of. So the Alan MOLECH fan club is basically taking a look at various systems that are accepted that don't necessarily benefit all of the persons in the community. What if we blew the problematic issues out of proportion and then framed it in a world where it was considered normal? What would a world where questionable summer camps met glorified hypermasculinity look like?
Hey mom, can I have this dance with you?
Wait, man, what you doing, buddy? What's wrong with you? Listen, what color this bed is?
Brown.
All right, so what else you know, brown?
Rice.
I wasn't that's a bit unconventional, but let's roll with that, all right? Let's try this again, right?
Excuse me, brown rice. Hey, you looking delicious and full of fiber.
Perhaps the next time you saw someone teaching a young boy how to harass a woman on the road by example, you would remember brown rice and you would ask yourself, why? Because why tells us for what reason something came about. And once you can go looking for the why, then you can ask yourself, is this thing serving its purpose? Should it change? How do we prevent it from happening again if need be? To me, that's education. That's how you change. The Alan MOLECH fan club is a deconstruction of our society. Yes, it's funny, and sometimes the truth is more ridiculous than any satirical piece that you could slap together, but at the end of the day, the hope is that you see parts of society that are feeding off of the marginalized. That whenever you see the sign of MOLECH, you don't hear an owl saying who, but why. Why?